Коллеги, всем добрый день.
Colleagues, good afternoon to everybody. Thank you very much for visiting us at such an early hour. We will talk about business problems, and today we have many speakers with whom we are going to discuss this topic, especially important at the time of crisis and the problems of small and medium-sized business. And as a moderator, I'm Vyacheslav Semenchuk, and I will commence with the first question concerning and important for many young entrepreneurs. And the question sounds like following: how to start a business in Russia, and what kind of problems entrepreneurs are facing in this country. I'm going to be assisted by my colleague, and allow me also to tell you the situation. I've visited many places in Russia, in many regions, and talked to many entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs, who are trying or have been successful in starting their business. And the basic problem which still exists in Russia and draws us back to the past, where the climate of business was something strange and unknown, and was perceived as a complex element which could end up in a specific jail sentence. And we have a cohort of people, I hope they are not represented in this hall, but with the help of our roundtable, we might say something against this statement. And actually, 2% of the population of Russia who could become entrepreneurs, but because of the influence of the family or society, couldn't become such. And in Russia, we have more and more forums of this kind, where successful entrepreneurs are having the floor, and they could agitate those qualities in people to become businessmen. And the first topic I wanted to discuss, the thing that some people are simply having fear to open their business. And at the time of crisis and the time of sanctions of different kind, and in my opinion, and as per the practice of communications in the regions, the most important thing today is to take and occupy certain niches of services, and these are the niches for import replacement. We have lots of niches: the software production and creation of manufacturing facilities on the territory of Russia. We started to build and develop that with prices lesser than in other parts of the world, and we are quite competitive for international niches. I would like to pass over the floor to my colleague, and perhaps he might support me in my discussions how to start business, and we will open the discussion. I am Nikolai Kuvikin, and taking Vyacheslav, I want to demonstrate how we are going to work further. I'd like to shrink this agenda from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. There are too many speakers, and so how to create business? Let's open this discussion. You have to just to start it. And my friend Kate Okolova, she asked a question and expressed certain opinion. You are the only man who is doing things the day I'm sending you my advice. And the entrepreneur is the kind of personality who starts doing something right at the time the decision is taken, and a certain action will end up in a specific result. So we will reduce the agenda to the time of 5 minutes, and we will send you a signal that you have to terminate your presentations. Now I will announce all our speakers, and maybe you could use your gadgets of Twitters and Instagram. Oleg Montsesan, he is the Moscow State University Park manager. Kurkovich Dmitry, he is the head of the Committee on Business Project Development and ICE Media. General Director I.Timoshin Ilya, chairman of the Committee of Development of Business Projects, and he is the head of the company. Kibkalo Dmitry, he is the founder of Mosigra company. Boris Preobrazhenskiy, entrepreneur and the founder of a number of various successful projects. Muslimov Muslim, he is a public figure and entrepreneur. Bondarenko Evgenia, general manager of a consulting company. Skorobogatiy Maxim, School of Business of the Moscow State University, Copy Cent company, Social Craft general manager, and Nikolai Kuvikin, R&D company founder. I would like to initiate a question how to create a business of your own in the conditions of the modern Russia. Vyacheslav Semenchuk, and once again I'd like to introduce Mr. Semenchuk, a serial entrepreneur. Let's give him some applause. Vyacheslav has already made his statement and opened our event, and Evgenia Bondarenko is having the floor now. Esteemed colleagues, I'm happy to welcome you here, everybody, on behalf of the Lipetsky business community, and I'd like to support Vyacheslav in his statement. And one of the major problems of business initiations that young people, they don't exactly believe in the success of business, and I prepared several statements which I grabbed from my own experience and practice as a tutor of entrepreneurship course in Lipetsk, and those training sessions and workshops took place in autumn. I had 200 students, and I can summarize that and give you certain statistics, what kind of problems emerge and how young people try to overcome these problems. And let's start how they initiate their business. And once again, I turn to the opinion on Vyacheslav. Unfortunately, we have a model of a good specialist, but we don't have a model of a good entrepreneur. And although after graduations, these young people will be looking for some kind of a good job instead of opening the business of their own. And this model should be created, should be changed. And the program You Are an Entrepreneur is the program which helps to create a positive image of entrepreneur, and thanks to a lot to the organizers. And one of the problems which I also mentioned, entrepreneurs, they have a tendency to open too small a business. They don't think big. They don't think about scalability, expansion of geography. They start with small business like flower selling or coffee shops. And with every team which I had classes, I asked them a question: where would you develop your business? And 70 or 80% they said that in our city or in our regions. Unfortunately, they lock them up in the region of their own. And I'd like to caution you against this constrained and limited mind, and think about the global business model, how your business will be organized further. Don't concentrate yourself on a very small scale. You have to look big and try to make this model successful. Unfortunately, many entrepreneurs start their moves without any business plan, and this is not only the problem of the beginners, but this is also a problem of the entrepreneurs who have already been incorporated and work. And we have sad statistics that in a year, 2 or 3, many entrepreneurs go bankrupt because of the problems that they have. And the problem at the start is that they start in a wrong manner. They look from acquisitions of tables and offices and computers. You have to calculate the business model, and that will help you to become successful and wealthy businessman. It will tell you whether it's going to be successful or not, and that should be done before the registration of your business. You test the demand, test your niche, and whether it is yours or not, and if it is exactly what you want to do. Very often, entrepreneurs, they ask a question: I don't know what to start with. And this is a terrible question, because they think is to move and make the first step. But unfortunately, not everybody is successful. Yes, they make the first step, and then they try to struggle with their own problems. But it is better to properly assess and calculate your business model and to go forward, although already anticipating your risks and possible problems. Thank you for your attention. Allow me to add, I have a different opinion, with all respect, towards the previous speaker. So small business is the fundamental things of the economy. Not everybody could create Gazprom-sized companies. So if you start, for you, you have to decide what is business. And in my opinion, what we are doing while we're young, so that these things could work to the end of your life. And of course, startup stage. It's not actually a business. It's let's say it's a race for 100 meters. You can make money, or you underwent all event stages, and maybe you raised some money. But in my opinion, from the very beginning, you have to lay down the foundation of the whole of your life. And that may be, let's say, a flower kiosk, but the number of successful businesses of flower shops and shawarma outlets is much more successful than the attempts to create bigger companies. And my opinion is to start with the understanding what exactly you want to do through the whole of your life, so that you could structure your planning for 10 and 20 years, and perhaps that might be a successful life in the business. I have the most famous movie, The Best Year. It's a lengthy story how a successful entrepreneur comes, where there was a grape yard, and his grandpa is smoking a cigar and drinking cognac and is playing chess. So that my understanding of business is exactly the same, so that we could sit together with our kids and to spend a pleasant time and to be around this business, so that we could have this foundation both for our life and for the whole of the country. And I communicate with many entrepreneurs from the rest of the world, and comparing that with Germany. In Germany, there is, let's say, a bakery which was owned by his grandpa, grandpa, and he's not going to open a car washing station or a restaurant. He would continue the business of the family. It's going to be a bakery, and he's making money providing support to the family, ensuring tax payment, and this is the basis for the stability of Germany. In our country, it's different. You lost something, you open something new, then again you lost them. So let's go ahead with the stable economy.
One should not forget that we have only the second generation of entrepreneurs in this country. That's why there is nothing to give as a well. I also would like to comment on this issue. We have some statistical data that 95% of businesses closed down within the first year of their operation. And then we also face a challenge which we would like to discuss it today, the choice of the future, choice of the niche for the development of your business. Let us give now the floor to Dmitry Kibkalo. He has gained enough experience, both positive and negative, and I think he will share with us his wisdom. Thank you. As far as the choice of the niche is concerned, if we were to discuss this issue a couple of years ago, I would have told you differently. But now the life itself indicates to us what niches we should pick up, since we live in a situation of sanctions, when now that the ruble is as cheap as it has never been before, the situation helps us to take a decision about production of a certain product. Here, it may be an intellectual product, maybe a real production, material production. It may be for domestic consumption, for external, for export. But I think it is profitable to be engaged in production activities. And if we want to speak about the domestic market, there are niches which are growing up confidently in any crisis, like goods for kids or foodstuffs. And definitely one understand that one should pick up such a kind of business which would comply with your inner, say, urging. And I agree that the business which you launch should be launched not only to go out of that business within a couple of years. We should intend to. We should start such business which would last for many years in a row. I can also say from our experience that at one point of time we chose the niche of kid goods, gifts, and table games, and this is the market which is growing in the time of crisis, and which has a lot of offers a lot of opportunities for import replacement. And I think there are many similar niches or spheres. And I guess other colleagues may share with us their experience. But one should think about how to produce a service or a good here in Russia. Perhaps I remember that the first project was not as successful as Mos Igra. Yes, of course, it never happens that you can have 100% success. But one should not be afraid of making a mistake. There are no victories without, say, losses. But those are ABCs for a business. When you enter into any activity, when you jump into any business, you should measure your, strength, your abilities, whether you will be whether you are good enough to go that journey. So and check if it is doable, if it is can get demand. So quite often, young people who want to make a startup, a company, are fascinated by their own ideas. They live in a fantasy world. If you generate an idea, you should test it on people, on potential customers. Well, that's exactly what I did with stable games with fast food. Well, we visited various fairs, showed our products, and then if we get positive feedback, then we would continue. But if there was no good feedback, then we thought that we spend our money for self-education. That's it. Definitely should keep test. Any comments? Good morning. My name is Max. I want to uh, comment something. I want to say a lot. Well, I sit on a great chair. I don't. We know somehow in Russia everything works like that. Well, we have too many speakers and too few chairs, and that testifies. But you're an initiative person. Well, I was invited, that's why I took a chair. So I follow all the instructions. I came here. I was supposed to have my own chair, soft chair, but I now have to sit on a side chair like a regular entrepreneur. I am against the corruption, against all my practice which take place. So what is your niche? I don't have a niche. I have a mass market. I would like to share with all those present here some of my. I will have a global company. I have ambitions to become a global company. There are two. I deeply respect Peter Osipov and the company business Young, Michael Tashkil and his colleagues. So you propose business education. What is your niche? If just give me a chance to say the word niche is great says that you have a narrow specialization and you generate super product, and you have either Mercedes-Benz CE class for 5% of the customers, or you sell a coffee as a business to customer. Well, I propose that you stick to your time. Okay, let us follow you as a moderator. So what was the purpose? May I complete with, there is a niche, there is a mass market, and let us pick up good, correct terms in our discussion. Thank you. I understand what you want to say. And I give the floor to Daniil Danilov. Thank you. I would like to first understand what small-scale enterprise is all about. If we look, there's all companies up to 100% employees and turnover up to 400 million rubles. So majority of companies would be small companies, and very few will become mid-sized companies and large companies. Well, we have a raw material-oriented economy in this country, and one should understand you will never be able to make a second Gazprom company, and none of us young people will be able to make a second Gazprom. So we have service industry and IT, and we may be doing a lot of things in the IT area. What are the niches we speak of? There are there are plenty of those niches. They will always be cropping up. One should look at how the world changes. And I would like to show you a book which I brought. RC has issued this book. This is Atlas of Future Professions. The new things, trades which are appearing in our life, and they speak a lot of professions which may disappear in the future, and the new professions which will appear. And I would definitely recommend you to look at the site of this company. The world is changing, and one should look in the real time what niches are available, what are emerging. And speaking about the prospective niches, perhaps I would be doing my business there. One should try, keep and try. Quite often, you change something, you ask that's new, and finally you get what is demanded by the customers. So at the end of the day, you work for your client as a business, pursuing your business idea. Big data, working with big data is something which we are looking at. In terms of advertisement, we look at the area sphere of electronic assistance, and because the search paradigm will be changing, Google, Yandex, everyone wants to look at the bots and electronic assistance and artificial intellect, which have already certain implementations. And if one is to look, the internet is the blood system of the business. You try to find what you want to get in contact with your clients, and within those contacts you can think of new niches, what may be useful for B2B market, perhaps. And as an example of how within being a hobby production of clothes, I created a site 00 Cats Rule and offered shirts, but we printed kittens on those shirts, and that resulted in growth of sales. It was done as a hobby, just as a test, but the sales increased. So if you test, if you use the goods using internet, then the entry cost will be lower for you. You can create prototypes and should learn how to program. That will be your entrance to the future. Everything will be digital very soon. Colleagues, let us give the floor to Boris Preobrazhenskiy, who will also tell us about his what he thinks. I apologize. I have also commented about niches. I am engaged in a variety of businesses. I developed a formula. The most optimal for today is the service area. The in B2B segment, this is stable. This organization, they pay through bank. They do not. Customers do not want it cheap. They want the quality. B2B services offered on a regular basis. There, if this economic segment, it will live forever. It is something which is vitally important for the business. So, what will be within this concept is something which may become very successful business project. And I have been in the business for 15 years already. I started my first company for office. I was engaged in the industrial equipment sales through internet. So, and those companies which never knew anything about internet, well, went bankrupt. But I continue development of my business through internet. That's why I suggest that you should use more and more active internet. Make online your offline business. You may do something which is typically offline business. If you make it online, at any rate, you will be getting exposure, and the industrial business will be moving to online. So if you are the first, many now sellers sell concrete and sand via internet. So many businesses go from offline to online. Shawarma sales in internet. Yesterday I saw for the first time that they sell these barbecue things via internet. So it may seem strange, but nevertheless it looks quite feasible. So and definitely what you choose for your business, you should be close to your heart. and you should like it. If you are, say, a girl, a young woman, you may start a flower shop. You may have a big team of, say, community around your business. You'll be having good time and generate profit for your business too. A question. The point of growth was that you were the first in internet, but now, do you systematize this agreement? Are you looking for new points of growth now? At the moment, we're a classic B2B company, and we use online as the key channel for our interaction. So we buy and sell in Russia and abroad. You may become a owner of a concrete plant. You may start build a concrete. You may start construct a plant to sell to produce concrete and then sell concrete. But on the other hand, you can use internet to sell concrete and then accumulate enough funds and build a plant. So there are two ways which are possible. The second way is more convoluted, but it is doable nevertheless. I would like to complement what my colleagues have already said. We have touched upon a very interesting subject matter relating to the topicality of those niches which we are trying to create our businesses in. At the very beginning of our discussion, somewhat mentioned that one should test a lot and check, and this is the foundation stone for the question relating to the fact that the businesses which we try to launch, borrow ideas from other countries, are not always up to date in terms of the topicality in those niches, in those territories where we try to start those businesses. That's why in the course of testing, my colleagues mentioned, one can check and verify if it is a doable business or not. But I don't think that anyone will be smart enough to create a new Facebook project or a new Yandex, a business. But let us try to pick up item number 3. Indeed, this is how to define the best competitive advantage when you start your business. We are now in Moscow, but for those who will be watching this broadcast and other geographic other locations, that may give you a very good idea to think about. I would like to give the floor to Dmitry Kibkalo and request him to share his opinion with us. When I assess any advantages for a potential business, I identify 3 things: range, trading policy, and the quality of service. Speaking about the small-scale business, I would like to say that the range of goods is not the strongest part of small business because you require many funds. The price is not something which you will be able to handle at the very beginning, because larger companies may afford themselves to sell your products at a lower price. But a clear advantage which small-scale business can boast of is the quality of service, the quality of speaking to clients, the wisdom or cunning of an entrepreneur. I think this is exactly what falls within the category of the service. So you should think of how to deliver your information to your potential customer. Instead of buying 100 various different goods, you can create websites and provide information via those web pages. So while analyzing each of your say project, you should figure out in which of the 3 areas you may have a chance to become the best. So we were lucky enough, we found ourselves in the country, in Russia, where no one was very aware of what a good service is all about. So you could pick any say, try to call to the concrete plant, and you'll know what you will hear. They will tell us that we have lunch between 2 or 3, and it will be the end of the conversation. So in any sphere, you may advance offering better service to your clients. As far as the pricing is concerned, you have to display some cunning as an entrepreneur, but I would like to emphasize that the quality of the service is the key. Let me cite an example from my experience. Delivery of flowers, something which many people know of. I know that my some boys, created application, and they ensure delivery of flowers within 1 hour. And quite often there are clients where they want to bring flowers within 1 hour. So this is an example from a real business case. Evgenia Bondarenko, now you have the floor. Colleagues, I would like to share Dmitri's opinion. Quality of service is becoming a priority. From my experience, young entrepreneurs always see price as a priority number one. They think that they may be their competitive advantage, and they will try to focus their efforts on this aspect. They tend to forget that in certain spheres, the demand may not be elastic enough as far as the price is concerned. Well, I, for example, am engaged in the consulting, and Nikolai was quite right that it happens when you are a unique product, and this is for the first time that you open a business and you reach this my specific case. And that's why your competitive advantage may be that you are unique, offer a unique product and not the price. When you interact with your clients, and you have such clients who will be choosy as far as the price is concerned, then you may focus your attention on the price. But now businesses are very much alike, and in the market where price are more or less the same, those businessmen take the lead or benefit who offer the better quality of the service. So this is something we should be always aware about and keep it in mind. So perhaps, Evgenia, you may tell us how when you came with your company, I hope there other companies would appear. Did you experience competition from the others? Well, so far we are not experiencing any real competition in the Lipetsk region. I think such competition will be within the larger region area, but we have already a certain strategy of development which may be missing with others. It's not sufficient to have some competencies or be desirous to develop in particular area. I would like to say that when you pick up your sphere of operation, though not something which will be your own sphere of operation, your own sphere of activity, one should like what you do. So it should be close to your heart. When I come to each company, speak to directors, with production managers, I smile. And then they said, because I understand they can help them, and I know that I really want to help them, and anticipating results of my work, I have some fun, not only from the reward which I'm going to receive at the end of the day. So attitude to your business is a competitive advantage. Yes. Let me also supplement what I have said with my own comments.
We all speak about new niches, but we forget about the problems that most of the products in a pre-crisis time were in no need, and there was no competition. And in the time of crisis, many things change. And let's touch upon the topic and talk about the headaches of our consumers. And perhaps this is very important about unique offers and what should we offer and how could we enchant the client. And the problem of young businesses in Russia is that sometimes young people have certain perception inside themselves. But the most important thing is to understand that the problem which really exists, you have to concentrate on this problem and create a value for the person, for the company who is your client, to solve this problem. Unfortunately, most of the businesses, they don't do it, trying to cover it with services or nice packaging or with a secretary, but there is no service as such, and a unique offer. And the answer for the third question in the times of crisis of 2016 is the value which you give the user, maybe even without the package. Maybe it will work as a word of the mouth, but if you could make a product today which are in no demand, maybe you will sell it, but it will not last for long, and you will end up with the only one sale. Colleagues, who could add up with some specific niches? Let's give the floor to our colleagues, and I came here also to develop positive emotions. How much time do we have? One minute. Yes, I would like to mention the following. There's no crisis in the country. There are really tectonic shifts, and the mammoths are dying, and a new generation of evolution is in place. And today I came here and asked and explained that everything is going fine, and spend your time. Perhaps you may also work in a transnational company. You can work in a McDonald's company or in a company where there is a tremendous flow of clients, maybe 200 or 400 clients a day, and it will develop your personality. You will understand many things better. And McDonald's hires wonderful people. Or maybe you try to offer flyers near metro stations in a good clothes, and you may look as a bum in the eyes of those people who would leave metro, and there, well, wonderful people are working there, offering flyers, and you can also start making or baking bread of good quality. I'm prepared to pay 500 rubles, but if it is a quality type of bread made of excellent grain, it's not the matter of money. We're talking about our health. I'm closing up, but I will have my presentation further on. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Maxim. And the floor is given to Kurkovich Dmitry. Yes, I'd like to add the topic of specific advantages and proper positioning. And one of my colleagues said correct words about the focusing on consumers, and one certain competitive advantages are created with a gap from the demands of your buyer. So the problems of startups and sometimes such manufacturers, and what we don't have to do and what we have to do. In 2002, Volkswagen motor company decided with Bentley, and they created the Phaeton car on the basis of Audi 8, and it was cheaper than the competitors but couldn't sell itself. Marketologists, they said two drawbacks. Those, they didn't want something which is associated with the, let's say, with people's automobile. And the second phenomenon is iPhone, which costs more than 50,000 rubles. It doesn't have a flexible screen, no remote charging device, and there might be dozens of competitors which will be in price 2 or 3 times. However, their selling power is different because they are buying for that money a pleasure or a status in the society. When the product is sold, you have to understand why the customer is prepared to pay money. Or Yota phone, for instance. This device has a unique competitive advantage, having 2 screens. Although the initial price was announced within the range of 40,000 rubles, but in the eyes of consumers, the second screen is just a kind of additional feature, but not a competitive advantage. And it is associated with the devices under the brands of cellular operators, and the price was within the range of 10,000 rubles. So nobody was prepared to pay almost 40,000 rubles, and now it's about 20,000. Perhaps it would be less than 10,000 rubles. Maybe that would increase the demand. One more bright example is Yandex Master. Yandex launched very many successful services and decided to clone and created this device, Yandex Master. You cannot buy masters. The work of the master is not just a standard product, which by pushing the button you can buy for a certain amount of money. And now they closed this service. In order to create a successful competitive advantage, it should really be in demand. It should be having unique features so that nobody has it's difficult to replicate, and ideally you cannot simply replicate that, and everybody is striving for this to avoid this unfair competitive advantage. And the Yandex Taxi service was launched, although there were many applications which serve the same purpose, but they don't have such unlimited access to the public, and everybody is using taxi, and the rest of the companies, they have lesser capabilities of such kind. That's what I wanted to say. I want to also add, maybe you will switch on your mics and we could discuss Yandex Taxi. You can compare Uber and Yandex Taxi, and you may understand where California is, where Moscow is. Okay, we have to compare, because Yandex Taxi, when you have Yandex Master, Yandex Money, and everything, you are a search engine or a taxi. I went through all this. We have a group of companies. I am the graduate of the Higher School of Business, and I see this business on the floor as Preobrazhenskiy Boris is concentrating himself. But this will kill Yandex. I would also add the following, that too much regulations and too much care about the population on behalf of law enforcement I worked in Deloitte. I am a financial specialist, and I wrote to Dmitriev letters CIB on asking for the loan of $2 billion, and the company with whom I worked, they try to push forward Yamal LNG project. And Boris wanted to add something. Yandex, Uber, in any business, although if we measure that strictly, it's amount of profit. Yandex or Uber, where the profit is bigger, so success is bigger. And about the competitive advantage, which we cannot forget, this is the right positioning. Your competitors, they are already positioned themselves. You can tell anything. And when I was involved in different sales of tailoring equipment and having made a site and I found the suppliers and I read. And I wrote that we are specializing in the sewing equipment for a long period of time, and we made an internet shop. In 6 months, we became the real players on the market. By our positioning, we could find the place in an entirely strange and unknown market. And perhaps the competitive advantage is something like entrepreneurs' talent to find this advantage and to find your own niche. Yes, colleagues, once we start to analyze the global trends, and some saying that Yandex is better than other taxis, and taxi maxim from the regions, and here there is a proof. Let's talk properly and understand our place and try to be big globally, but just to pronounce the word niche. As a specialist, we are really cool in internet marketing, analytics and metrics. Google Analytics is giving tremendous opportunities to analyze the status of our competitors. This is the intellectual business. So what is your proposal? To do business, to use quality services, understand your format, and focus your resources. Okay, I heard you. Yes. The most important thing, what our colleague said, and we would like to pass over to new topic. These are threats which could destroy the small and medium business, and we still have 30 minutes. Let's talk about the threats and opportunities. I invite Movsisan Oleg. We can talk about services. Good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity to have the floor about the possibility. Who is the entrepreneur? That is the man where everybody sees a problem and he sees the opportunities. And more than 10 years, we've been helping. In the beginning, that was the program to help to understand that these guys are entrepreneurs, students, and postgraduate students of the Moscow University. And now these are the largest universities of Moscow. They come to us to understand that this is the sphere of activity. I really like it, and rather than to go into the research efforts. And many are having the turnover of more than 100,000 just because we help them to understand their status of being entrepreneur. Now, coming back to the problem, we are trying to reform to rearrange this, to move forward continuously and develop your service or a product. If you stopped and you're dreaming just about having a cigar or a glass of wine, you are finished. And I would agree what Evgenia said, and Boris also, I support your statements as well. Although you had certain difference, even if you want to make a flower shop, you have to have ambitions to grow big, because you may make more money, and instead of sitting in the patio with a small house, but you may have a castle. The best example is what kind of business to open, internet shop of socks or the tower crane, and there are thousands of people who disseminate these things, and you could imagine the internet shop of the tower cranes, a small office, a secretary, one meeting, one sales in 6 months. And what kind of a general mention makes more money, second, has more time to spend this time with the family and see who is happier. Yeah, we could rearrange this question. Yeah, you spend your time in this shop and perhaps even more in a flower shop. They would spend and try to sell flowers 24 hours a day. And perhaps you have to open 3 shops, hire more people, and spend more time with the family, because the ultimate goal is profit.
You should not limit your activities only with one flower shop. If you're doing fine, you'll definitely would like to open the second one, the third one, and so on and so forth. Coming back to the issue which we are discussing, I think the time is right, the right time now, at least what we have seen in this program. The crisis has modified approaches of people to businesses. I'm not referring to large companies, but indeed, we now see big companies coming to the university and they're soliciting our assistance in the search for import replacement for new innovative approaches. Well, for a very long time, we have been trying hard to say implement a specific technology for cleaning associated petroleum gas from sulfur for 5 years. But the big companies would never were prepared to talk to us. They would say us. They would offer conditions which would be wrong. But now you see big companies, oil companies, are now coming to us and speaking to us, and now I can tell you that even big companies now realize their issues, and they are searching for new ways to address issues. And whatever young people come to our association, we try to instruct them to search for issues which other industries may experience and develop new products and offer their products in such areas. It may happen quite often that young scientists, young researchers create something in their laboratories, and they think that this is needed by the market and would be demanded and bought by the market. So whenever boys come to us with some ideas, we immediately tell them, go and find an industrial partner and verify that the issue which you think should be addressed by your product can really exist in the market. And then quite often we organize something from the scratch when we have about 500 young boys coming to our association, desirous to make a startup. We make a selection. We pick about 150, and we have a special technique for picking up. So Maxim is a good entrepreneur. He he does not see any limitations in his say activities. So we pick up 150 persons, we form project groups and go to industrial partners, to mid-sized companies, and try to identify what problems they have. They are interested in to be engaged in that, so because the mid-sized companies have the benefit of contacting qualified people, and then we have a mentor from the company. Within 6 months, we try to create a prototype. Now the life has changed from the point of making a startup. The speed of life has increased considerably, and in internet you do not need too much money to get across to your clients. I'm speaking about hardware. Even in Russia, a lot of hardware has been bought, and you will be able to create your own prototype using some additive technologies, and then offer to the market and start to showing to people and getting feedback whether your product is interesting for others or not. So the crisis is crisis, but the crisis, as I said, has modified the thinking of many people. Then there is a phenomenon of sobering of many big businesses, and they're getting more, oriented as far as the choice or selection of correct partners is concerned. So business is about business ideas. Business for those who see opportunity where others see a problem. They do not see external boundaries and are always prepared to jump over those boundaries. And you do not, unless there's only one flower shop, you will definitely be a success. And if you come to us, we will assist you in pursuing your objectives. Maxim, you wanted to say something about, dangers. I don't think there are any dangers. We have an issue, the mental issue in our head, and I can tell you, I travel a lot across Russia. Well, meet all kind of ethnic people. We have forgotten that we were the first to fly into the outer space. Somebody told us that a small shop is a good niche, is something which is very cool. You can start your business without any expenses. How, 5 minutes? I have 5 minutes. Thank you. This is your presentation. My name is Max. You can find me. I am graduate from the High School of Business, baccalaureate and magistrate. I am very thankful to the Blhansky who created this forgery of cards. I thankful to you for coming to learn. If you have picked up tape recorders, you would should record what we are saying. When I do not know what those who take pictures, and when I offered, let me pay money, and I will bring tape recorders, but I will show you that everyone has YouTube, and nothing everything has changed a lot. Look at Pavel Durov. Pavel Durov is a very bright head, and he packed the idea of Facebook, and I think if Kontakte was much better when Pavel Durov was at the helm. Try to use Telegram. I think you will be getting here. Pavel Durov is a very Telegram is a very better than WhatsApp and Viber. Use Telegram application. It's much cooler. Where you can find opportunities. You can find opportunities on Instagram. Instagram is a social network of the new generation. Telegram and bots, which they have at the Telegram. So we write Telegram bots. Let me tell you how I'm doing my business and earn my money. The first 100,000 rubles I earned using some illegal advertisement of tutorship. I had a team of teachers, but I have stepped out of that business. I like this business, but everything is murky. what I did, I ordered for 100 rubles templates. We bought a telephone number, and it was in year 3 years ago. It was an advertisement on the pavement. You are violating the law, but you are making money, but you invest money. You are not violating the law. Do not infringe the law. You should. There are certain administrative code of punishment, and there are legal transactions between us and the state that if you cross the street crossing, say, but I very conscientiously advertised my services, invest money, and myself in the taxes and my salaries, what I used, the payment for my advertisement. That was one of the very highly conversion channel of sales. But we stopped that after policeman came to me, the local head of the procurator come to me and frightened me with the huge penalties. So the next day we painted that, and when we were told by the authorities that we were really doing something wrong, all the authorities are people. We live in the same state, we live in the same country. Let us expand the zone of comfort, and within the next 3 minutes I will tell you about the crisis of confidence in this country. I have colleagues who develop a coffee shop, coffee with itself. When I am graduate, but to become a renter, you should take a lot of efforts. What was wrong with that? Why cannot conduct business activities within the, say, walls of Moscow University? And so perhaps there are some barriers for the commercial activities here. We're sharing with you some activities and invite you for cooperation. You have half a second only. We can. Well, I was promised 20 minutes time to make a presentation. Let us speak about the crisis of confidence. I went to Perm. You develop a product. We have a business. We came to the business of pyrotechnics. We found people and increased their sales and became the largest within one season. They also something clicked in their heads, and they also started to create websites. They're good, but this is a very specific market. Let me tell you about the crisis of confidence. I came to the coffee shop to start a contest. I came in a foreign car and parked at the distance of 150 meters. I look very youngish, especially if I put on, say, earphones, and you can think that I am only 18 or 20 years old. So I came in, greeted them. Please, may I have, I like very much your coffee. Coffee costs 50 rubles, and the cost is 10 rubles. They told me, can you give me coffee? I will drink coffee. I will wake up. I will get to my car. But we go to my say car, pick up money. I did not sleep well enough tonight. Take money, and we'll pay it for you. 50 rubles, small coffee. And they told me no. Why? Why think? Why they say no? Why? You may not pay. but 10 rubles, I can tell you how to save on other costs of your activities. I can share my experience how to save on your personal vehicle. We entrepreneurs can calculate money very well. Did anyone calculate and spread the shoulders? So let us see after that. Thank you. I understand. And I no, have run out of time. You have run out of time. So I beg of you, start to pay people for their work. Stop using pirated products. Then your employer will respect you. Start to trust people, and then people will start to trust you. Start to smile, and then we're doing fine. Do not watch TV. And this is the positive. And thank you for your attention. Thank you, colleagues. I hope that I have made your day. Boris, you have 10 seconds. You have a presentation, but I can speak for 10 seconds. A crisis of confidence. Maxim has a printing house. He's buying equipment for my company. He bought equipment from my company that and he did not pay, and he is not picking up the telephone. What we're supposed to do? What about the crisis of confidence? So we pay, yes, we overpay to Boris. Boris sells at a higher price. And they're speaking about the coffee. There is an exemption from rules. That's why we work with him and buy everything from him on a premium price against the market. We pay not only for the printer, but we pay a little more for the fact that we can borrow. Sometimes you owe Marlin, and there are other comments, and you have to do something. You need money urgently, and you call to your colleagues, and nobody picks up the phone, and the farthest person picks up the phone and gives you money in case. Be kind to others and be happy, and emanate rays of happiness. So Muslim would like to offer a comment. Well, I'm a doctor, medical doctor. I would like to share with you my personal opinion. I can say that entrepreneurship is a chess game. When you say when you receive you receive goods but you do not pay, you are losing equality. I have gained certain experience. I've been in the business since 2008, and I have seen a variety of entrepreneurs. Speaking more specifically, I would like to say that it's rather difficult to be an entrepreneur. It's a very complicated work to do. Well, looking at the speakers, I can say that many people would say that you should like what you do in terms of business. You should live in your business, and then any business will become an easy thing for you. Will not contradict with your inner self, and you won't see find yourself in a situation of disbalance when your grandmother will be dying and you should call 15 people to get some money for the funeral. So a businessman, entrepreneurship is a big flagship which should be, moving ahead at full speed, rather than be a captain of a small fleet of small boats and springing from one boat to another, creating situation of the mess, engulfing partners. And this is the root of the crisis of the confidence. We have vendors about 150, and that was a comment which I wanted to share with you. Well, I made a mistake. I always pay, and I pay the premium price. This is a classical payable. It appears that, the goods were shipped to me and did not pay in TAF. So we should speak to what Boris, and he will tell us. So we're speaking about the crisis of confidence. Well, let us, suggest that you should discuss your bilateral issues elsewhere. Let us now discuss item number 5. We have very short little time left. We are young and nice and handsome and attractive. Let us pick up the final issue of the agenda, like the role of young entrepreneurs in development of business in Russia. And our colleagues has not only a remark to make. I think he is likely to make a more or less whole story to tell us. Yes, indeed, I would like to share with you my personal opinion. And I can say that I started in 2008. I am a medical doctor, a surgeon, and I have structured my business from the scratch, having only 3 persons in my team. Now I have 160, medical doctors working for me. We work with, I'm graduated from the military hospital, and I am a member of a number of communities. It's very important to pay attention to the format of the community of which you are a member. And I invite you to become a member of a community, of a professional community, in order to remove the so-called disbalance from the lack of confidence. And community forms certain rules of behavior, rules of engagement, rules of interaction. And those who are with us, and I can name this All Russia Union of Young Entrepreneurs, of which I'm a member. Lena Bocharova is the head. It's the community business young. I know quite well Bashkiev and Osipov, but I also respect Shoigu and Putin. But nevertheless, I can tell you that becoming a member of those communities gives you a certain potential. You find those who share your ideas, and those who moderate our conference, Nikolai Kuvikin, being a very mature person, he left everything and he went to Altai region and started his reindeer business, quite successful. But the crisis of confidence is not there if you are a part of a certain team of people, a community of people who support you and whom you support, and who look at you and you look at them. I would also like to say one more thing. What kind of animal is an entrepreneur? We have 2 clinics, medical clinics, 7,000 patients who go through pass through us in a month. At our facilities, we conduct certain activities which help entrepreneurs understand what medical business is all about. We have a team from Lipetsk recently, half a year ago. A team of guys came to us and we told us what we had in our clinics. And then we also had, I had the mentor of the scientific park of Moscow State University. And I want to say that the format of what modern entrepreneurs can do, I looked at from Eugene Demin. I visited his plant at Nizhny Novgorod.
He is manufacturing toothpaste, and I'm prepared to buy this product and this trend, which is available now. And Dmitry Porochkin, for instance, he has a format of visiting successful businesses, like so-called business assault, and it is advisable to use this instrument, this tool. And I would also like to mention that entrepreneur is a man who is every day working to continuous perfection of his business. And entrepreneur is not just a major in a sense of a word. I talk to young people, and sometimes I don't need a yacht or a German automobile. It is better to invest into a certain car and to pay your debts instead of buying certain nice things. And this influences the clinical way of thinking. But my favorite film is Terminator and Matrix, because the entrepreneur is always in a business process, and it's a everyday fight and different conflicts solution with your employees. It's a kind of a substance which is typical for most entrepreneurs. You have to believe in yourself. You have to find a niche. In 4 years, you will just receive very nice turnover. And shaping of a trend which now takes place, I really like it. I think we are living in the right time. There's no crisis. And please don't be scared to go forward. Thank you. We have come to I.Timoshin, and now he's going to tell us about his opinion concerning the role of entrepreneur. You have 5 minutes to go. As opposed to my colleagues, I have a little experience for public presentations. I feel kind of nervous, and I prepared a speech, and now I will use some thesis which I wrote in paper. I am I.Timoshin. I am the founder of Temicon Company, and I am the chairman of the Committee on Business Development of Young Entrepreneurs in Moscow. And through the whole of my life, public life and commercial life, I'm trying to express the idea of shaping a specific type of relations based on the values of a human being. And the idea to create this association, and Mr. Gruzdev supported this idea. And this year we are celebrating 10th anniversary, and we unite about 10,000 people, and we stage a huge business forum. We try to rally all entrepreneurs from various parts of Russia. We have our special awards issued to the most successful businesses. Twice a month, we tell the public about our activity and what committees should be addressed in terms of certain questions. Please join us. Young people who would like to start a business, they have very strong qualities, both positive and negative, and we will try to develop pluses and annihilate minuses. This is a very productive experience. Some qualities like maximalism, and you don't have to be scared of errors on the way. And once we talk about a romantic approach, never forget about the mission. And of course, they have to struggle with many bureaucratic features. Most of them, they have a lot of energy, and they could sustain the rhythm which they initiated from the very beginning. Most of young people have a lack of understanding of reality of entrepreneurship. There is a picture of successful business people. However, it's a heavy life of ups and downs, which requires tremendous amount of energy. And being romantics, but without having the ability to understand future difficulties when they confront the realities of business, this picture becomes obliterated. And from the very period of school life, they teach us to be afraid of errors, which is really a big problem. And the man who is not making mistakes is doing nothing. And they don't teach us in school to avoid such thoughts of mind. Not every individual could become entrepreneur. And I always say that not everybody is destined to become entrepreneur, and you have to check yourself whether you can assume and pursue this life. The choice is yours, whether you will choose the way with difficulties or it's premature. A human being should know what to expect and should be prepared to fight, even at the time when there's no forces at all. And a lot of resources are spent, and sometimes he borrows a lot of funds. And in case of failure, 90% of projects are failures. And if he maintains his business, he will be able to continue. And if entrepreneur goes to the office and he will not be successful in pursuing his responsibilities, for he has to understand, am I prepared to go to the unknown future, or I'm prepared to fulfill the orders given by somebody else through instructions and through training aids. We have to support young entrepreneurs by our experience and teach them not to be afraid of errors and to look for opportunities in failures, to keep romantic approach and to create the space, having a belief in your future. With the right support of young people, they could create new senses and ideas and develop new horizons. At the given time, there exists a tremendous gap between the state, society, and business doesn't trust officials. Society is finding itself at a distance from both. And 60% of population, they considered that entrepreneurs are fraudulent people, and they don't have enough trust because they have the old perception which was existing for years. And now to create the image of the businessman, we have to spend time and effort. We shape new business environment based on the human values. And I think it's the time for action. However difficult is the way, but the journey starts with the first step. You cannot just hide yourself in a shelter and wait that somebody else will come and starts doing something step by step, changing the situations. Act. And remember that the human being is more important than the material wealth. With this, we have a presentation of Nikolai. He will tell us about his vision and the role of young entrepreneurs and how the entrepreneur could popularize entrepreneurship. And the community is one of the points of growth. And the credit of trust. Some people would recommend you as a reliable partner. And as far as the popularization is concerned, in any trade, in any profession, when a person is really inspired by what he's doing, he's energetic, he wants to go to share and push the people from the zone of comfort, and he's feeling happy by spending a lot of time and energy because he's got a vision of what he wants to do. So these people inspire others, and this is the excellent PR to see the people and entrepreneurship and this community. You also get energy from that society. And between Moscow and Altai and Novosibirsk, I live in that space, and I'm very happy that someone is really missing me when I'm not in the capital. Join this community, and whatever form of this community. We rallied more than 40 regions. We could discuss with cameras or without that. And we would like to mention the thing that if you are not entrepreneurs, you have made your choice. Perhaps you are scared of something, and enough to feel scared, enough to read books about business, and you have to start, test, and have a global vision. Thank you. Nikolai is executive director of All Russian Community. Look for him, and those who want to join this community are most welcome. Question. Demetrieva Natalia Leonidova from the she asked for 10 or 15 seconds. She wanted to make a wish. Would you allow to? Excuse me. We the cameras and the people who would be looking for this video will not hear us. I apologize. Would you please approach to us and well, there are two things behind. Reforms, reform of Maslikov and Primikov is a small room. Actually, it's hard to find a free place. It means that this is an important event. There are 11 young people, and there is one girl, and in the hall there is vice versa. So you might look like old society, which you've been talking about this. I am from the society of old systems of decision making. It was very difficult for us to move, but the time now changed, and now in the good businesses we have more women, more ladies, and this is not a communist statement and not feminist. We are a chamber of the regions. Lipetsk and some other. You are also flying between the cities, and this information panel moved me. If someone came later, you cannot read who is speaking and which region is being represented. So next time I would come. Next time here there should be a name and a surname. Business is a miracle, but what kind of region? Bryansk, Lipinsk, Mordovia, Udmurtia, or Primorsky, Yamal? We are a big country. Represent Mariel Republic. Please raise your hands who has visited Yoshkar-Ola sometimes. Yes, these are wonderful people. And with this, I finish my presentation, and I wish forget the people. Yes, thank you very much for your presentation and for your speech. With this, I would like to finish and express the words of thanks to Olga Zholobov and to all those present at our round table. Thank you very much.